And this is the Senton, which is a vehicle that is probably familiar to many of you. Now, the Senton has really nice ground clearance for an RTR. If I can really focus this, it really has quite a nice level of ground clearance. Now, the body is very nice. It's somewhat aggressive looking. The paint job's very nice. They do have different colors on this. For some reason, I just really liked this one, so I ended up going with the red. Usually I would pick blue, but this was just a really nice red. Now, this vehicle right over here has these guards right here, which are actually very nice. Now, if you're looking into a Traxxas / 4x4, those are very nice vehicles. I've had a bunch of those, given some away. But they're different. Keep in mind there's the Gen 1, which is the high CG, and then there's the current one, which is the low CG. The low CG is really the one to go with, and this is a low CG chassis in essence. So let me go ahead and flip this over so you see how it's nice and relatively flat, but you still get very good ground clearance. Here we go. Now, if you look at the knuckles, on the caster blocks, very robust, a lot of material in there for plastic. The rear, also very robust. So for an RTR, it's very difficult to beat this vehicle, to be honest, if you are bashing. If this is your very first vehicle, you're probably going to love it. The tires are soft compound. They're actually very, very nice. These grip very well, especially loose dirt. So if you're doing a baseball diamond, I wouldn't recommend though that you run your RCs on baseball diamonds all the time, because that sand is so fine, it's going to destroy your bearings after a while. It just gets everywhere. Now the motor is a brushed motor. One of the things that you can do to get a little more torque out of it is wash it. Do watch my video on washing brushed motors, and I have one testing the difference. So top speed, don't worry about top speed, you're going to get the same thing, but it does give you more torque by cleaning out the brushes. So it's actually a nice little trick that you can do. You are going to have to remove the motor though in order to do that. Let's see, front bumper's all right. It's not the largest thing. I think the Traxxas Slash has a better front bumper, but this one's decent. Rear, this one's actually really nice, right back here. And you could get some mud flaps and install them. Just make your own and put them right on there. The shafts are actually very nice. They're about 3.4 millimeters. Let's just say 3.5, both front and rear. You do get a decent amount of travel, actually very good amount of travel from the suspension, which is great for bashing if you take jumps, small jumps. Now, keep in mind there are limitations to every RC. The body is going to act as a parachute, so that is something that will help you land and kind of slow down, which is a good thing for most people. The cool thing also is you have these guards, and these guards really help keep stuff out of the inside of the tub. The Traxxas does not. You can always rig something up. That is a nice little feature. You're still going to get a bunch of stuff in there though, because these guards, really, most of the stuff you're going to get in there when you're turning. And the body is so big that you're going to end up getting some stuff right. It's just going to hit the body, bounce off the body, and right into the tub. If you're just running the stock electronics, then you don't have to really worry about anything. But if you decide to upgrade to a 3S system or 4S, 3S really, that's really all you need. Or just get a high-end 2S. For example, a Tegan RX-8 with a 4300 kV Pro 4 HD motor is fabulous. You're going to be hitting some really high speeds with that on just 2S. But if you start doing that, consider putting a much heavier front diff fluid, maybe even a million on there, or maybe even consider getting a spool and just locking it. The reason why is it's very easy to diff these out. Just vehicles in general, you'll diff them out, and then you'll start breaking these shafts because one tire will all of a sudden just spin incredibly fast, and then it'll get traction really quickly, and you'll start breaking them right at the joint, right at the universal joint. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, to be honest, unless you look at Corrali, there isn't really, at price point, it doesn't really have a competitor. You can't really beat a Senton. The transmitter, for example, very cheap plastic, but it's great at price point. For an RTR, it does everything you need. It is a spectrum-based radio, as you can tell by that little figure. And one of the cool things, if you look at the very first toggle there, let's see, here we go, 50, 75, 100. So if you give this to somebody and that person's just driving for the first time, getting used to it, just switch it over to 50%. It's similar to what Traxxas calls training mode. But Traxxas only has 50 and 100. This one actually has 75, and then you can go 100, so that'll give it full power. Steering trim, well, the direction, I should say. So you can go, you can reverse it, or not, it's up to you. That's the power button. And then over here, you actually have the trims. So the trims are over here. So if you ever replace the servo, and let's just say you go left on the transmitter, but these tires go right, well, just flip that toggle for the steering, which is this one on the right. And then it just reverses the steering. Versus on some other brands, such as the Traxxas brand, you have to go through menus, count blinks, different things. I do have a video on how to reverse throttle and reverse on a Traxxas transmitter, TQ and TQI, and I have the same thing for the steering as well. So don't get discouraged. Now, I'm not saying, actually I am saying this is better at price point. So this is really the RC to get. Now, really quick, if you're contemplating a Typhoon, Typhoon is the exact same center. So really, do you like short course or do you like buggy style vehicle? Those are going to be maybe two things that you're going to want to consider. But as far as the Senton, it is a great vehicle at price point, nice soft tires, suspension is decent out of the box. The front is kind of soft though. Replace the oil, I would say. And again, at price point, you're not going to beat this. Brand new, it is about $270 as of this video, but once in a while you can find sales, so just shop about depending on seasons. If you're in the United States, Labor Day, 4th of July, you know, all the holidays really. You can look at A-Main, Tower Hobbies, local shops will have sales as well. Once Black Friday rolls around that week, you're going to find sales. So this is going to be less expensive. And Arrma generally has more sales than other brands such as Traxxas. So keep that in mind. Coupon codes or discount codes, sometimes you can use them on Arrmas, sometimes not, depending on when you're shopping, where you're shopping, or the model. Arrma changes things. But consider the Senton. I hope this was informative or at least entertaining. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
What? Oh, my hair! My tongue! My room!